I'm wide. You can see more of me than before. I don't know how I feel about that. Hello there. Welcome back. Episode 2 of Empty and Aloness. Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing today? Like, actually think about it. How are you doing really? Like, when was the last time you walked up to a stranger and said hello? How are you doing? How's your day going? What's your story? That's actually like one of the easiest icebreakers that a lot of people don't really use. I don't know why. What's your story? Try it. It's easy. It's easy. It's so simple. It's so easy. That's why I like it. The easiest icebreakers are the simplest icebreakers. Like, hey, what's your story? What do you like doing for fun? I haven't seen you around here lately. Where you from? Talking to strangers is really important. It's really good to exercise that social muscle because you never know like who you could meet that could be a valuable connection to you. You never know. Like it could be literally someone who is down the street from you and you just strike up a conversation with him when you're out for a walk and boom, that guy's connect you get for your next job. Like you never know. So you gotta like pay attention and always have something to say and always have a few icebreakers in the back of your head. So wherever you go, like just pick one or two simple questions that you can ask people and use that as an icebreaker everywhere you go. Hey, what's your story? Hey, what's your story? Like literally just use that. Yeah, have a lot of fun with it. What does it mean to be empty and alone? Hey, look, I'm telling you right now, there is no better feeling than feeling complete and then feeling happy in your completeness. And what do I mean by that? Like think about it really like have you ever felt just happy in being by yourself? Have you ever just felt like so? Because there's some people that understand what I'm saying. Like sometimes it feels good to enjoy your own company, and it feels good to enjoy your own company for you, and that no one else needs to be around for you to be able to be happy, for you to be able to function, for you to be able to do the things you want to do and have fun with yourself. But a lot of people cannot, you know, have fun just by themselves. A lot of people cannot be happy in their own company. They need other people to feel happy. They need other people to validate them. They need other people to feel alive. I feel sad for these people. I feel like these people are not complete. Because how can you be complete if you need other people to exist? And I know human beings are social creatures. We do need other people to like depend on. We need to have friends. Of course, friends are important, but are they really? Are they? I'm saying that metaphorically. I'm not saying that literally, but you need to think about it. For example, like friends can be there for you when you need someone. What's more important than someone being there for you is you being there for yourself. And some people don't know how to be there for themselves. So, and that's why I say like it's a crutch really to not be able to be complete or feel that level of completion in yourself. But I'm telling you, like there's a difference between having that internal validation of like I enjoy my own company and I don't need anyone, and being lonely. I think I said this in the last episode, or I said this in one of my posts online. Like the person or the man that can conquer loneliness is as connected to everyone as a man who knows everyone. Or no, actually, the person or the man that can conquer loneliness is as enlightened as the man who is connected to everyone. And what do I mean by that? Like sometimes people get lonely. Like if we don't have many people in our lives, if we feel like the people in our lives are not close to us, if we feel like there's no one in our lives that don't understand us, it can get lonely. And you can have people in your life and still feel lonely. But where does loneliness come from really? Like where does that feeling of loneliness come from? Does it come from the head? Like where does it come from really? Think about it. It comes from your heart. You feel it in your heart, that feeling of loneliness. And you feel it in your heart because in some way, some in deep down, in some form, you feel incomplete. So you feel incomplete and you need other people to complete yourself. That's why you feel lonely because you're not whole. That's why you feel lonely. But you know the thing that enlightened people know is that if you can conquer this fear of loneliness, or better, if you can just conquer the idea of being empty and alone, then the only people that you allow in your life are people who add to your life. Think about it. When you're not complete, when you're incomplete, when you haven't yet conquered this fear of being alone, or when you are still wrestling with the idea of loneliness, you might allow people in your life that are a negative or are a burden to you, or just simply are not a good influence on your life and where you want to go. But you allow them in your life because, hey, you need somebody. You say to yourself, like, this person is not good for me, but I like having them in my life. Not that I need to have them in my life, but I like having them in my life because they provide something for you. Provide validation, maybe. They provide support. But ask yourself truly, if you felt complete, if you felt like you didn't need anybody, like I'm saying anybody in the world, if you felt like you didn't need anybody to exist, to be happy, would you still allow this person in your life? Would you still say, hey, I like this person in my life? Or would you go, I don't need you in my life. I'm good without you. Thank you. That's what I mean when I say like being empty and alone is like really enjoying your company so much that even if you are alone, you still can be happy and you still can feel complete and you still can feel like you don't need anything to sustain yourself. It takes a long time for a person to get to this point. I'm telling you, because I've lived through it. I've lived through times where shit was on the up and up and I was great, like I had a great life and nothing was going wrong. And I've been through hard times. I've been through times where like I had no one to call on, no one to lean on. I've been through times where like things were going bad for me and I didn't know who to talk to about it. So I've seen both the ups and downs of life. And I'm telling you, like if you can go through those ups and downs and still keep a level head about yourself in the fact that like like what's good for you, and that regardless of like whether you are alone literally or not, like are not alone in your heart. It takes time to get there, but I'm telling you, it's a beautiful place to be when you're complete in your heart. When you're so complete in your heart, when your heart is so full of love for yourself that there's no one who you can say can come into your life because you need them to be in your life. When you feel complete in your heart about yourself, you only allow those who you want to share your completeness with. Like my friend asked me this question last week, and I find that so interesting. It's such an interesting question. She asked me, do you have a lot of friends in your life, or just generally, like, do you have a lot of people in your life? And I had to reckon with that question. I had to say no. And the truth is, no, I don't have a lot of people that I can say that I'm super close to, but that's on purpose. That's because I had to tighten my circle. I had to make my circle as close as possible. And I only let the people who I really valued in. Why? Because I got to a point where I realized I don't need to and I don't need to let everybody in. Because why? Because I feel complete in myself. And because I feel complete in myself, no matter how empty, no matter how alone I can ever be, that doesn't change my mood. It doesn't change my happiness. It doesn't affect me in my life and how I think. It doesn't affect my future. It doesn't affect my past. It doesn't affect my present. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why like I have no problem socially saying that, hey, yeah, I'm empty and I'm alone. And that's okay. And if I am empty and alone for the rest of my life, that's okay too, because I have me and that's really all I need. And I'm not saying, hey, like, do as I do and go ahead and be empty, because it's not for everyone. It's not every like people, like I was saying before, like to square a circle, like human beings are social creatures and we do need to socialize. It is important. Go say hi to a stranger. I'm just saying, for me, like, I don't need anyone. If I want people in my life, it's because I like to have them, but it's not because I need them. And I think there's a very fine distinction. And a lot of people don't really get that distinction. A lot of people don't really think about that, because why would you? But yeah, a lot of people have people in their lives not because they want them in their lives, but because they need people in their lives. They need to have a lot of people to be able to say, like, yeah, I have a lot of people in my life. Like, a lot of people want to be that guy who knows everyone and who's known by everyone. And I'm here to tell you, you can be known by every single person on this earth, and you could still be unhappy. You could be liked by every single person on this earth and still be unhappy. Happiness, when it comes from external measures, it fluctuates. It's not stable. Happiness, when it comes from internal measures, from yourself, that is the most stable kind of happiness, because you control yourself. You control your internal being, the way you are, the things that you do. Like, you can control that. You can't control the way other people are, the things other people do. Like, you just can't control it. Like, that's unpredictable. Like, someone could be here for you today and tomorrow they could switch on you. They could change up on you. And you can't control that. You can't affect that. But that's just what can happen in life, you know? And I think, like, for me, it was always very important for me to, like, be strong and have a strong character. And I think, like, that's the reason why I wanted to experience what self-induced loneliness would feel like. Not because I'm a masochist, but because it actually makes you a stronger person. It makes you more versatile, more resilient type of person. And I like to be that kind of person. And you cannot be this kind of person if you don't either go through personal hardship or go through some bouts in life where you are lonely and when you do feel loneliness. Because it's only when you feel that low, when your feet hit the floor and you have nowhere to go, that you can wrestle with yourself and talk to yourself and understand, like, hey, like, am I really happy, or do I just put on a charade, or like, put on a facade just because other people are around me? It's only when you're truly lonely that you have to reckon with yourself and you have to figure out, like, who am I really? A lot of people don't really know who they are. They just go with the crowd. They're like sheep. They see what the crowd is doing and they follow because it's safe to follow. It's safe to do what other people are doing. It's safe to say what other people are saying, because then you have more people who agree with you. And more people who agree with you means more social validation, means you're happy. So a lot of people, they don't really know who they are in themselves. They haven't really taken the time to figure out who they are because they always fall in the crowd, and that's not a good thing to do. At some point, every man and woman is going, doesn't matter whether it happens when you're young or when you're old, but at some point in life, there will come a time where every man and woman has to reckon with who they are as a person. They have to decide, like, do I like who I am as a person? I am, is the person I am even the type of person that I want to be in the first place? Like, you really have to reckon with that, because you never know until you know, you know? So being empty and alone is something that, like, I treasure. I have treasured, not because I want to be empty and not because I want to be alone, but because existing in that space for however long or short period of time I did allowed me to reckon with myself, allowed me to really get to know myself better, and allowed me to really know that I accept myself for who I am, and I can be happy with myself and myself alone. And I don't need anyone else to be happy. I don't need to follow a crowd. I don't need to see what other people are doing and do it. I don't need other people to agree with me. I don't need other people to make me feel validated. I can validate myself. I can stand confident in my beliefs, even if everyone else is doing the opposite. A lot of people can't do that. If people see someone, or people see a group of people all doing one thing, they think there's a reason they're doing that thing. I have to do what they're doing. I have to agree with them. Why? No, you don't. You can disagree with the crowd. You can say, hey, you guys are doing all that thing, but hey, I'm going to do my own thing. And I am. But if you're yet to experience what being empty and alone feels like, how can you really truly say you know yourself? You don't know yourself. You don't know who you are. You know the facade that you present when other people are around, but who are you when no one is around? Who are you when no one's watching? Who are you when no one cares who you are? Until you really reckon with that, until you really, like, get to know yourself, how can you expect to love yourself? How can you ever expect to feel complete? You aren't complete. I'm telling you right now, you're not complete. You cannot be complete until you're happy with yourself and you love yourself for who you are. And you can't know that. You can't know yourself I think, until you've at some point experienced what it's like to be empty and alone and have to reckon with that low and have to reckon with yourself, because there's only one person you can reckon with at that point, and that's you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I think being empty and alone can be a positive thing, not always a negative thing, especially when you take it metaphorically, as I do. And sometimes it's good to be able to have that validation in yourself, because once you have that validation in yourself, you will start to realize something amazing starts to happen. Other people will start to look for validation in you because they see how you don't need anyone for validation. I'm telling you, it's contagious. It rubs off on people. When people see how confident you are in yourself, they'll think, what's up with this guy? Like, well, how can he be so confident in himself? How can he be so assured? Why is he so assured? Should he even be so assured? Is there evidence that he should be assured? Like, I'm telling you, people will start to wonder, like, what is going on with this guy? And over time, when they see that you're an unshaken, when they see that there is no external measure that can move you, they will want to be around you. They will want to hang out with you. They will want to go on dates with you. They will want to be your friend. They should want to be your friend. And they should want to go out with you. And if they don't want to go out with you, you can always just make them feel FOMO for not wanting to in the first place. A couple weeks ago, I learned about a very interesting method that you can use to make a woman not stop thinking about you. I don't know. I haven't tried this too many times, but I thought it was pretty interesting because it was something that just came up on the spot and it actually worked better than I expected. It's basically, how can you get someone to feel formal about going on a date with you, or formal about just even hanging out with you in general? And in doing so, how can you make that person not stop thinking about you constantly? Well, I think I have an answer because I tried this the other last week and something came out of it. So basically, here's how it goes down. You want to already be talking to this person. You already want to be establishing some sort of rapport and getting things moving along in the way you want it to go along. And then when you're ready, you want to ask this person out on a, it could be on a date, it could be just to hang out, but the important thing is you actually don't want them to say yes. I know it's crazy, right? Yes, you don't want them to say yes. So you actually, what you want to do is when you want to ask them out in a way where they're almost not even paying attention, or you're not even showing that you want them to pay attention. And because it's really, really important that they actually say no, or they just don't even know exactly what you're asking them. The way I did this is that I was talking to this person, and at some point I had mentioned something I was gonna do, and I just said, "Hey, let's go." Just randomly, just in the middle of a conversation, no context whatsoever. I was just like, "I'm gonna do this thing over the weekend. Let's go." They said, of course. They said no, or to be honest, they didn't really say no so much as they just ignored it and continued with the conversation, which is a tacit no, but it's also exactly what I wanted. There's this concept that if you want to make someone enjoy hanging out with you, or you want to make someone feel like they need to hang out with you, you have to kind of like get in their heads and understand what the things that they would love doing and act accordingly. And when they see that you do the things that they love doing, they'll go, hey, why didn't I do this thing with them? So basically, you want them to say no or to just ignore it. And then you eventually go over the weekend, go do the thing like I did. And then you come back and then you tell them how great and amazing that thing was. But the key thing here is it has to be something that they would have already loved to do. Right. So in this situation, in my example, I'm in the middle of this conversation with this person. I said, hey, I'm going to do this thing on the weekend. Let's go. And they ignore it. And then after the weekend comes back, we're talking again. And I tell them, hey, I just went to go do this thing. And they're like, oh, how was it? And I was like, oh, it was fantastic. I had such a great time. You missed out. Can't believe you didn't say yes. Blah, blah, blah. I was negging her basically because I was negging her because, oh, how come you didn't say yes to do this thing with me? Because it was such a great time. And then when she actually understood exactly what I was, because at first she was like, Well, yeah, whatever. That's not something that I'd be usually interested in doing. But when I actually gave her the details about exactly what I was doing, she was like, wait, what the hell? That's something I would love to do. Why didn't I do that? I want to do that. And that's the key thing with this tactic. If you want to make someone feel FOMO, you actually have to do something that they would have loved to do either with you or by themselves, right? So basically, in negging her and telling her, oh, you missed out, blah blah blah, you would have loved to be there, I was basically planting an idea in her head that, hey, I do things she would love to do. And when I do things that she would love to do, I also paint a picture of her having a great time in this scenario. Now, basically, she's thinking, what the hell? Why did I ignore this question? Or why did I not say immediately say yes when he said let's go? Now she's gonna take you more seriously. Next time you say let's go, well, how do you think she's gonna feel? How do you think she's gonna think? Do you think she's gonna ignore it, or do you think she's gonna like think about it and say, oh, I better not miss this opportunity to hang out with this guy because he does things that I love to do. And when he does these things, I think about them and how I could have a great time. So that's the key with this thing. You have to make sure that you're actually doing something that you think that they would love to do. So because of this, you basically want to get to know this person a little bit in order to have a good read on the things that they would love to do. Because no one's gonna feel FOMO if you're doing something that they have no interest in whatsoever. And a lot of guys do this. A lot of guys do things that or go on activities that are not necessarily the things that women would love to do. Most women don't actually gonna watch the golf game with you. Not to be very honest with you, that's a very man thing to do. Like most women are not so interested in golf that they want to go watch a golf game live. But you see a lot of guys will do this. Say, hey, I just went to the golf game. You missed out, brother. She did not miss out on anything. She is not feeling FOMO at all. So that's one key thing, right? So, anyways, I'll go on with the stories. How it worked out for me is that basically now I'm in a situation where I know and she knows the next thing I say, like, hey, let's go, she's gonna want to go. Which means when I'm now ready or willing to ask her out, I'm can be very confident in her saying yes and not rejecting me. Now, not only do I have more confidence because I know I've been right about something that she likes to do, but I'm also now more confident because I know that she knows that I was right. And yeah, but the thing is too, you also have to neg them about it. They can't just be like whatever about it. You have to actually make her feel like she would miss out if she didn't spend time with you. So you have to actually neg her about it and be like, hey, do you know what I did last weekend? Well, check this out. I did this time, this thing, and I totally told you, hey, let's go. And you ignored it, or you said no. It was a lot of fun, and you would have you totally missed out. You would have had the time of your life. You basically have to say that kind of thing. You really have to really plant this idea in their head that, like, hey, I really missed out on a good time if I didn't go out with this guy. Like, what the hell am I doing? So yeah, for me, like basically the next time I said, hey, let's go. And this time I wasn't, again, I'd be saying let's go for anything. Like, hey, let's go to do this. I'd be saying let's go anytime, anywhere. Like, of course, I'm not giving details because I don't want to be giving too much of my game away. But he said let's go, and I wasn't even really paying attention when I said it, but she reminded me when the time came to actually go do the thing. She reminded me, she's like, hey, you want to go do this thing tomorrow? Oh, no. She didn't say, actually, she said, I'm excited to see you tomorrow at the blah, blah, blah. And it caught me off guard when she said that because I kid you not, I did not remember what the fuck she was talking about. I literally had to text her, can you give me details, please? And I said it with an exclamation mark, so it sounded like I was excited, but I was actually sort of saying it with a question mark because I was confused. I had no recollection of what she was talking about, which is probably how she would have felt the initial time when I told her I went to do the thing that she didn't even know I was going to do the thing. And guess what? She was now more excited to do the thing with me than I was. Now the tables have reversed. It's been flipped. So because I made her feel FOMO, now she's already thinking about how much fun she's gonna have, and not so nervous. Now I just have I'm confident. I'm chilling. I'm cool. I'm flexing. I'm fine. But that just shows to tell you sometimes rejection is good or can be good because rejection can actually lead you to have more confidence, or because some rejection is, people say it's more like redirection, and it is direction, because you're not gonna know for sure where you stand unless you shoot your shot. If you never shoot your shot, you're never gonna know where you stand. And look, you miss 100% of shots you don't take. I'm telling you right now, you do. So if you really want to be able to make someone feel, and this doesn't have to just be women, it could be men as well. Like if you, like, I don't swing that way personally, but I'm just saying it could be anyone. If you want to make someone feel FOMO about hanging out with you or doing something with you or going on a date with you, this is an easy way to do it. Just make sure that you let them know that, hey, you want to hang out with them, but do it in a way where you're very laissez-faire about it. Do it in a way where, like, make them feel like you're not really serious, so that they either say no or they just ignore it. And then when you go do the thing that they would have loved to do with you, you neg them about it. And you constantly make them feel like, maybe he was right. Maybe I should have done this thing with him. And then the next time around, as a weekend or something's popping up, and you say, hey, let's go. Now she's going to be excited. Because not only do you have a history of doing the thing that she would love to do with you, but now she knows that, like, or she feels that, like, if she does that thing with you, she's going to have a lot of fun. And women love to have fun. But women love to have fun doing the things that they do, right? So even if it's not something that necessarily you might find all the way interesting, you have to understand too, life is about give and take. Life is about give and take. Sometimes you got to give before you take. And that's a lot of what people get wrong sometimes. A lot of people just want to take first and give after, or give later. If you want someone to enjoy being in your company, if you want someone to really enjoy hanging around you, if you want someone to really love the experience they have when they're with you, or if you just want someone to think that they will get excited and have fun when they're with you, you have to be willing, because sometimes it's going to be easy. Sometimes it's going to be easy. Sometimes you want to date someone who literally loves to do the same thing that you do, and that's perfectly fine, right? But most of the time, they might be doing something that either you're not too excited with, or just it might be something out of your comfort zone, something that you probably never really used to do before. But you have to give first. You have to give by actually coming into their world and making them the protagonist of your life. And in doing so, you're able to do the things that they love to do, so that then now they think of hanging out with you as something that they should be doing. And yeah, that's just the easy way to escalate things as you go. You know, like rejection is just redirection. It's one part of escalation. Because at some point, when it comes to escalation, at some point, you will hit that wall, or he will hit that ceiling where you can't pass beyond that circumstance. You can't pass beyond that circumstance because, hey, there are no more steps to climb in the ladder. You have to wait. And whenever that happens, what's the reason? It's probably because rejection. Rejection doesn't always mean no forever. It just means no today. So you really shouldn't take it as, oh shit, like I lost my chance. Play it cool. If you ask someone to hang out, or if you ask someone on a date and you sound needy, or you sound like you need them, or you sound just like so pathetic, not only are you gonna feel that way, but they can see that in you, and that's not good. You gotta play it cool. Be smooth about it. Don't even be worried about nothing. You can't come off as if you need someone, and that's why internal validation is so important. That's why, like, being able to validate yourself and not needing a woman for external validation is so important, because a lot of people rely on the other sex for their social validation. For example, if a man is getting a lot of attention from women and he gets his validation from that, when he's no longer getting attention from women, what happens? Now he thinks he's a loser. But that's not the case. Rejection today is not rejection forever. But if you take it deeply, you cannot have the confidence to come back and climb the ladder again. But you have to understand that in the game of escalation, there will be times where you cannot move any further up the ladder. There will be times where you have to move down the ladder. But a lot of people just play it as like, if I move down the ladder, I'm just getting off the ladder completely. That's not how escalation works. You get on the ladder, you climb up each step. As you go, sometimes you have to get back. Sometimes you have to get back. But in my situation, I had to get back. But I didn't take that as a bad thing. I didn't take the rejection as, oh, I'm a loser. This person doesn't want to hang out with me. I took it as, this is an opportunity to make them want to hang out with me. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can turn it so easily. You can make it so easy. You can take a situation where like it could be painted, or you could have the perspective as, this person doesn't want to go on a date with me, and you can switch that up to, this person doesn't want to go on a date with me yet because she hasn't really understood just how amazing the experience she can have. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's so simple, but it's so crazily unique and specific, and it works. I'm telling you, it works because I tried it. And I'm here reporting the news to you right now because I'm telling you it works. But I'm telling you, if you can make someone feel formal about you, especially with women, are always in their head. They're overthinkers. Women are the biggest overthinkers in the world, right? So if you can get a woman to be in a position where she's forced to reckon with the idea that you are a valuable part of her life, she will think about you. If you can force a woman to reckon with the idea that she has a fear of missing out with hanging out with you or going on a date with you, she will think about you, right? So sometimes you want to get rejected, not because you want to build your character, but you want to get rejected so that you have the opportunity to show someone that they shouldn't have rejected you in the first place. I'm just here like telling you, like, the things that I've done, things I've experienced, and what how it's worked for me. It doesn't mean that it's always gonna work for you. It doesn't mean that it's always gonna work for me either, because it could have gone a wrong way. This situation could have gone left. What if I went to do the thing, and then I came back and I said, I totally missed out on such a great time, and she's like, whatever, I don't care. Like, it could have gone that way too, right? So I'm not saying this method is foolproof. I'm just saying, like, if you are looking for a way to get a woman to feel FOMO about you, and you're not at the stage where you guys are like dating yet, but you want to get to a stage where you guys are in that kind of situation, this is one way to do it. I'm telling you. And it doesn't just have to be dinner. Be more creative than dinner or in a movie. Like, I'm serious. Be far more creative than that. Like, actually understand, like, what does this person like to do? What are the hobbies they enjoy? What are the things that they do in their free time? What are the things that they said to me that they're looking forward to? You can figure out exactly what to do or where to take someone just by listening to what they say they are thinking of doing in the near future. And ask them too, like, hey, what do you like to do for fun? What are your hobbies? What are you looking to do in the near future? What's something that it's on your bucket list to tick off in the near future? What's something that you've been thinking about a lot lately? What's something that you've been wanting to do, or and what's something that you've been anticipating lately that you really need to check out? Or find out what's going on in the environment right now and see if there's anything that she's receptive to. So if a lot of people are going swimming on a particular weekend, ask her, have you gone swimming lately? Do you like going swimming? Like, like, just pay attention. I'm telling you, it could work out for you in your favor. Just have to try a thing.